Graham from Sainsbury's, and my talk is largely focused on me, and I haven't brought many examples of exactly what I'm working on at the moment, but that's partly due to confidentiality constraints and that kind of thing. So it's mainly about me. So I hope that's okay for everyone. So I'm going to talk a bit about my background and go on to how the RSS conference and support mechanisms have helped me get to where I am. And then I'm going to talk a little bit about the meaning of a data scientist and what that means to different people. My current role is with Sainsbury's in the online part of the business. I'm in the forecasting team. My job title is Senior Forecasting and Optimization Data Scientist. Bit of a mouthful. That wasn't my choice, but I tend to just summarise as data scientist or statistician is generally how I sort of think of myself, I suppose. And the main parts of my role are testing different model structures and approaches to make sure that we're forecasting in an optimal way to help different aspects of the rest of the business to function as efficiently as they can. I also, a chunk of my time is devoted to making sure that those forecasts and the data associated with them are getting to the individuals in the business that need it as efficiently as it can flow. And I support the development in other parts of the team that are carrying out analytical work on different aspects of the business, not necessarily forecasting specific. My background, starting with at the beginning, as seems appropriate, I did an undergraduate degree at the University of Manchester. That was in mathematics with Italian, which is the default choice for people who don't really know what they want to do. Just hedge your bets. And I went on to do a part-time master's at Birkbeck College at the University of London, which is specifically set up for part-time courses. If anybody's considering a part-time master's, I can't recommend it highly enough. It's a very good setup for anyone who's considering that. So my first statistical role in earnest after my undergraduate degree was with a firm called Power Perfector that install energy efficiency equipment. And I was an energy analyst there looking at energy consumption data of organisations that had installed that technology in order to measure the impact of having installed that, to quantify how much benefit that we're getting from having taken that action. That was with what was called the analysis team in Power Perfector. We subsequently we separated from Power Perfector and set up a business called EVES. So I was the lead statistician at EVES. EVES stands for Energy Efficiency Verification Specialist. So we essentially broadened out what we were doing from Power Perfector installations to look at any other types of energy efficiency measures. So power factor was very focused on electricity, for example. We then moved to look at perhaps gas saving measures, for example, or water saving measures. So it was that transition that really made me focus on the parts of the business, the Eve's business, where we had gaps, I suppose. And it was during that time that I chose to do the part-time masters at Birkbeck, because as the team we had at Eve was quite varied. We had people coming from engineering backgrounds, property backgrounds, and I was the only mathematician in that team. And as a result of that, I was the uncertainty associated with the analysis that we were doing, the questions around that were often getting directed at me, and I didn't really know all the answers. And I had to do a lot of research, and I was finding this. Either we're going to need to bring in support to plug that statistical gap, or I'm going to have to sort of take the plunge and do a master's in this to make sure that I know what I'm sort of putting back into the business is right and is going to be maintainable. So that eventually led to me being labelled the lead statistician within Eve's, and the content of that role was an extension of what we were doing at Power Factor. It was calculating or reviewing energy consumption models that were being used to quantify energy savings for whatever measures had been implemented. But a large part of it was consultative, so that meant that a lot of what I was doing was explaining uncertainty to our clients and also to the suppliers. So that led to an offering within Eve's that was based on training. It was short training courses. Short training courses to make sure that both parties were informed about the process that they were going through and understood the uncertainty associated with an energy efficiency investment, because that is often left until the sort of end of the project, where there's not really much you can do about it if the investment hasn't achieved what was intended. So that was my experience in statistics prior to joining Sainsbury. And I've added a slide with pictures in just so that it's not all words. So my experience started in energy efficiency and the industry sector I'm in now is online retail. That screen is supposed to depict online retail. I hope that makes some sense. I've tried to do these slides with R. I don't know if anybody's tried this, but that's why the formatting looks a bit rubbish and that kind of thing. So sorry about that. You're all the same guinea pigs for me. So while I was working at Eve's, while I was studying for the part-time masters, and when I completed the masters, I didn't really have much of a role model within the business, or indeed within the industry, that I could turn to for guidance in terms of best practice statistics to use in the particular area that I was in. Admittedly, it was quite niche, but I suppose what I've found, and some of you may be finding as well, is that I struggled for a mentor type character. There were and still are mostly people with engineering backgrounds working in the energy efficiency industry, And I found that, I mean, that it presents quite a good opportunity for statistics, because it is an area where the uncertainty needs to be brought to the fore and agreed upfront in energy efficiency investment. That needs to be how the industry evolves, but there aren't many statisticians in that area. But starting to, so I joined the RSS as a grad stat once I completed my masters, and even just the structure of working from the grad stat qualification to the CStat, the Chartered Statistician status, was a piece of structure for my career development that otherwise I just wouldn't have had that sort of thing to aim for. And along with that is a structure for capturing your continuing professional development, your CPD, which a lot of organisations, larger organisations, will have their own mechanisms for organising that information, capturing talks that you're going to, talks that you might be giving, and that kind of thing. But in a very small business, such as the one that I was working in, we did not have that. And being able to use the RSS structure for it was very helpful for me. And finally, the mentoring scheme was ideal. It was exactly what I needed at that stage, was a more experienced statistician to discuss work with to an extent. I mean, with the I don't know if anybody's considering using the mentoring scheme, or maybe is it in the process. You have to come to an arrangement with your particular mentor to make sure that you're not communicating anything too sensitive, but generally you can find that balance, and your mentor will hopefully guide you towards what the right balance is. My mentor happened to be a colleague of Wilfred's, so it's a chap called Wayne Jones, and he was, as I say, it was a fantastic help getting towards the Chartered Statistician status. And he encouraged me to present, for example, at the RSS conference. And I have attended, didn't go last year, but I've been to the 3 of the last 4 RSS conferences. And I find them like very interesting, useful, and sort of inspirational in a way. It keeps me going down a statistical route. And so that has been very useful as well. I've been told I've just got 2 minutes remaining, but I just wanted to touch on when I was doing a bit of research for talking to you guys. I googled about data scientists in Sainsbury's, partly because I was working out what I'm allowed to say, what's publicly available information already. And I came across quite a few articles which I found quite negative, suggesting that the term data scientist shouldn't be used in certain applications. I mean, personally, I find the term data scientist a little bit buzzwordy, but the opinion I developed while reading these articles was that there are different types of data scientists in the same way that in other industries, or in a similar way to other industries, where you might get specific types of lawyers, or you might get specific types of engineers. I mean, the term, I've heard the term applied to, well, some examples here. A type of storyteller, which is, I guess, mainly the sort of data visualization component of data science. So users of business analytics tools like Tableau and that kind of ilk. I've made up a term here called data logistics, which I take to mean that managing the flow of data. So that might go as far back as the servers that data is held on, and then go towards the database level and what's the most efficient way for all of that to work. And that might not involve a great deal of analytics in itself, but it nevertheless gets termed as a data scientist in some context. And another example is that of a statistician. So that's sort of where I see myself, and that's the role of deciding which are the right methods to apply to different problems that come your way. And there could be other interpretations beyond those. I'm just sort of listing the ones that I've come across in my experience. And I think it's important to not let perceptions of what data scientists should know about rock confidence. Because I've applied for jobs in the past and just had completely misaligned conversations about what it's expected that I would know about, and it can be really difficult to move on from those conversations and go, well, how can I carry on down this road if I don't know about this and this software? But in reality, that experience that was completely wrong, because when you find the combination of organisation and role where your expertise fits, then it can be of huge value. And so I suppose if anybody's finds themselves in a similar scenario, that shouldn't be a worry. And on that note, this isn't an advert for Sainsbury's per se, but Sainsbury's are actively looking for data scientists, and there are a huge amount of roles in the area at Sainsbury's. And it's a great place to work. So, and stuff, etc. But yeah, I'll leave it there.